Welcome to An Awful World, but not awful like you think.
This is the show where we discuss whether we would have discovered important advances in a world exclusively full of Haylies and Libbys. I'm Haylie.
And I'm Libby. And today we're talking about
snacks.
Yes, snacks. Snickety snacks.
Don't talk back.
So this is part 2 of our four-part food series, Maaaaaarch Munchies. I literally almost just said March Madness. No, like that's already taken. Libby.
Yeah.
You can't use that.
You can't do that.
Yeah. So part 2, snackies.
That's right.
We don't have a ton of direction for this one, but it feels like an important topic.
Yes, we're big snackers.
Big snack people.
Big snack people.
Big snack people. So the first snacks of the world were really seeds and nuts, which makes sense because that's what was around people.
Yeah.
And they would like have several like small meals a day because it was just like whatever you could find, whatever you could pick up and find is you would eat that. And like you weren't like storing it up. You were just like, well, I'm going to eat this now because here it is. And then it was more like substantial, like snacks really became a thing when agriculture became a thing.
That makes sense.
It does, because a lot of things are like agriculture based type, like potato chips, for example. But in Egypt, because of agriculture early on, they like to do flatbreads as their little snackies with olive oil. Big fan. I'm the person that goes to the Italian restaurant with the oil and the
Parmesan and the
I always want that. Yes, please. I want it.
But sometimes I do want things just slathered in butter.
Oh yeah,
so
same.
It depends.
You know, it's just a choose your fat type of thing,
yeah.
You know, in China they would eat rice cakes, and I'm sure that they'd be shocked to know that dieting white women all over the world now also eat rice cakes. Yeah, still.
Sad dieting women.
Yeah. Even
unless it's those little Quaker
some of those
cheddar
are good.
ones. Oh my God.
The cinnamon ones are good too.
There's also like a caramely one that's pretty good.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe rice cakes are less sad than I thought they were.
Well, like the cakes suck. But like the little like chippy ones that
those are pretty
flavors. Good. Those are pretty good.
Yeah. The Quaker Oats people. Yeah. They do those. That's true. So anyway, then the Renaissance happened. And again, so happy for the Renaissance. It did so much for us.
They bejeweled us.
It did great things for our art and
now we
culture.
Get snacks.
And now snacks. Because in England, particularly, it became a thing to have like small baked goods and pastries like being sold like on the streets throughout the day.
These are my kind of people. Love that.
And these were very affordable snackies.
Love it.
So like, it definitely did not differentiate between classes because even like poorer people could afford to have a little snacky off the street.
As they should.
I know,
they deserve
right?
it too.
I know. Which, you know, I just want to say that I think that Willy Wonka could have made his chocolate bars more affordable so that little Charlie didn't have to save up all his money from his ailing grandparents to buy one chocolate bar.
That's true.
I just wanted to put that out there.
But also, Grandpa Joe just hops right out of that bed.
Well,
seems like a mooch if I ever met one.
Or is he mooching, or is chocolate an excellent motivator? Think about it.
It doesn't matter because that means he could move and he just was too lazy to be motivated. I don't like it.
I'm just saying chocolate's an excellent motivator for me.
I mean, me too, but like I'm anti Grandpa Joe.
Okay, that's fine.
Just saying.
That's like your opinion, man.
It is. Feel strongly about it, and I always have.
Fine. So, the Renaissance. It's a common thing. We're out. We're selling them on the streets, whatever. And then because trade started to pick up and become more global, it became like a much more like wide variety of things.
Which I love because, you know, I think we should all just be trading snacks all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it should be so
That's
shared.
just like regular friendship, right? Just like trading snacks.
Yeah.
Sharing. Like, have you had one of these? You should try it.
Yeah. Like when people are like, have you ever had those Kit Kats from Japan?
You're like, no, I haven't, but I'd sure like to try
Yeah,
one. And they're like, well, I've got one.
Yeah, and they're like, here is a matcha Kit Kat. And I'm like, matcha? That's wild.
And over in Japan, they're like, chocolate and peanut butter.
Yeah,
what?
they're like, that's insane. And
I'm
we're
just
like,
kidding. I don't know if they're saying that over there.
but in Europe, they think that PB&J is like a nasty combination.
They're wrong.
I know.
I am so offended. I am genuinely offended by that. That is... There is something about PB&J.
Yes.
I don't know how they discovered it.
I don't know, but that is a happy accident if I ever saw
I
one.
love PB&J.
Oh, yeah.
Like Uncrustables fuck me up.
Almost all times we accidentally have like 3 jars of jelly in the house because I'm constantly worried that we don't have jelly. And what if I want a peanut butter and jelly?
Except remember that time that I was dog sitting for someone and like 6 jars of jelly fell out of a shelf on their garage.
And just like, how do you clean up that much jelly and glass?
It was horrible. It was truly it was awful.
That's
and
just
I was
like a nightmare.
Sorry, I'll replace your 6 cans of Smuckers that just decided to yeet themselves off this shelf for no fucking reason. Anyway.
I'd be like, my jelly supply!
I was like, I'll just buy several jars of it, put it back, we'll act like nothing happened. Like, hope you were saving this for a special occasion.
They're just like having PB&J parties.
Just because they can be preserved for years doesn't mean they should be.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they have to.
Right?
Like, you don't Smuckers isn't going anywhere.
It's not a requirement for you to buy a jar of Smuckers and then wait for 4 years to consume it. Not a requirement.
Even though that's exactly what happens in my house because I'm just always worried. And Ty's like, half of these are expired.
We have it all
Stop
here.
making me buy jelly.
But speaking of jelly.
Speaking of.
Ironically. First of all, they're wrong.
They are. I learned that in my French class, and it was like the gasp that we collectively gusped. Was just
otherworldly. Brief aside. Have you seen the girl on TikTok she's English and she makes her like 85-year-old grandfather different American foods every day?
No, but that's cute.
I wonder if she's done PB&J, but recently I saw she did a grilled cheese with soup.
Yeah.
And she's like explaining to him that you dip it in the soup and he loves it. He thinks it's quite good. But like when she's explaining to him what it is, a grilled cheese, he's like, that's just cheese and toast. And she's like, no, it's it's really not. Like,
I mean, it is.
It is, but it's not like it because they have like cheese and toast as a thing for them, I guess. But like that just different. Doesn't sound as good.
No,
it's not a grilled cheese.
Yeah.
Like
it's all in the branding.
Yes, it is. So I wonder if she's done that with PB&J. I'll have to follow up on that.
That's so funny.
But canning. So snacks particularly start to take off. I mean, obviously they take off during the Renaissance. That's great. But not snacks the way you think of, because in the Industrial Revolution, we are able to come up with like packaging things. Mm-hmm. And not only packaging them, but also like new technologies like canning, preservatives comes along. So like we're able to keep things for much longer than we were before. And that like really helps to kickstart probably like the whole food industry in general, but also snacking.
Yeah.
So that is when like the late 1800s is when the first bag of chips was made for the snacking for the public.
Wow.
A momentous occasion.
That is a momentous occasion.
There honestly should be like a first bag of chips Remembrance Day or something.
There should.
You know, if he can make up fake holidays, so can I.
Honestly.
I know, I just had to say he.
I know.
Because you know, and I know, and we all know. But anyway, the first bag of chips in the late 1800s, which honestly...
Do we know what day that was?
Impressive. No.
Damn.
I don't.
Because if so, I was going to be like, well, we're going to start celebrating from here on out.
We're going to name it.
We'll declare it.
We'll have to look it up and see. But I thought that was interesting, that it was like, that's sooner than I would have thought.
Yeah. But is it like the first bag that was like packaged? Were they making potato chips before then?
I don't know.
Or is this the first
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Invention of the chip.
I couldn't tell you.
I guess I wonder when frying became a thing.
Yeah, I do too. But I don't know because I didn't look that up for this episode. But then by the 1900s, packaging gets really, really good and advertising comes along. We got magazines We've got TV commercials. We've got billboards. We've got it all.
You got your trailers at the drive-in movies.
Yep. All of it. Yes. With the snacks.
And they all
dancing.
dance.
Yes.
Do you know they make those for TV now, on streaming?
No, I did not.
So last night, Ty and I casually watching Paddington Bear, as always. Just a common occurrence in the house. It's on Hulu. Shout out. You should watch it. And I'm giving you a hard stare right now, which you would know if you would watch it. Anyway.
And Detective Pikachu.
That's
and
right.
all of the Spider-Man movies. And no, I'm kidding.
The Spider-Man movies are the least of my worries. Is Paddington, Paddington 2, and Detective Pikachu. Those are the big ones.
Okay.
Anyway. So before it starts, there's a minute and a half worth of commercials. But there's I think it was by Hershey's, but it's go to your pantry. What's in your pantry? A whole thing of get your snacks before your
How
movie
cute.
starts. And the Hershey's bars are dancing. And I was I love that they did this.
That's so cute, but there's nothing in my
Yes.
pantry.
Oh,
You
see?
know?
I
It's
keep-
snack worthy.
I keep a little basket full of fun-sized candy bars.
I know. I have popcorn
That's a snack. That's
and
a
some
movie
Oreos.
snack. Yes.
So will that do?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's movie snacks.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about some of our favorite snacks.
Okay.
What's your favorite snack?
Cookies.
Okay. Do we think? Oh, this is tough. Because this is going to require us to think about some things we maybe haven't thought about yet.
Are you saying, do we think we'll have cookies?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Which I will.
Talk about more.
Yes. We're going to have a baked goods episode. So I don't want to get too into cookies.
Yes.
But yes, I have ideas. There will be cookies. You can have them without dairy.
Okay. Now, speaking of popcorn,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about popcorn?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
How do you think we figured that out?
I think that because it's a plant, anything that's plant worthy, we're going to just start trying to cook. We're just going to start chucking things in fires.
But here's the thing. You can cook corn
Yeah, but
and it
it's
doesn't turn into popcorn.
But it's not the same kind of corn.
It isn't? I don't know.
No.
I-
It's a different corn.
okay.
Yeah. It's a different corn. So you would just, because the corn that we eat, sweet corn or
Yeah.
yellow corn or whatever is very different. So it's a different type of corn.
Interesting.
So I assume, I don't really know the process of how we get that corn, but it's definitely a different just breed of corn in general. So as long as we could get the corn, if the corn is just
We'd figure it
naturally
out.
here, we would figure it out. I'm sure it would scare the shit out of us.
Yeah, especially you.
Yes, I'm so jumpy.
You're very reactive to sound.
Yes.
And I'm always just oh, that scared me. Or whatever.
Yeah, we were at a fancy dinner a couple weeks ago and a refrigerator just went
Kicked on.
"Ooh,"
Yeah.
And I jumped out of my seat.
I know. And I was oh my gosh, it's the refrigerator.
I was like,
You're not being hunted for sport. Calm
I
down.
constantly feel like I am.
I know. I get it. I do.
Just
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think that popcorn is worth consuming without butter?
that's hard.
I know.
That's a hard one.
I know.
Here's the thing. If there's salt,
I was just thinking
Yes.
that. Because, okay, when we go to the movies,
Mhm.
Brian is the one that's all about the butter.
yeah.
And I like the butter.
I also like the butter.
But I don't need to add extra butter to my movie theater popcorn.
no, I don't want my hands so slimy.
Agree.
Mhm.
I'm the one that's let's put a salt on top of it.
Yeah.
Just a little, not a lot.
Yeah.
Give it a nice shake. Make sure everybody's getting familiar with each other.
Yeah.
But I like the butter. I like the flavor it adds, but I'm the same way where I don't want it to be all over my fingers.
Mhm. Now, here's the thing. I have two things here. There's also kettle corn
Yeah.
which is not my favorite, but I do like a caramel corn.
Yeah, me too.
So we could always go sweet corn popcorn situation,
Yeah.
even butterlessly. Now, the question that I feel we must answer, are we going to have salt?
I wondered that as I was asking you about the butter. I don't know. My thinking is that we're going to discover it at some point in the ocean. We're going to be like, that's salty, but we won't know that that's salty. We'll just be that's
oh,
weird.
Something.
Yeah. But the question of like how we get, salt mines? I don't know.
I was going to say, because like there's sea salt,
right?
Which is obviously salt from the sea. But then there's also like other salt.
Like pink Himalayan salt.
Yes. And there's like just your like normal table salt, which I'm like, isn't that just a rock?
Yes.
And so
sodium chloride.
Yeah. So are we just like people are licking rocks?
I mean, that is a thing, like a salt lick.
Yeah.
Right.
But so like at some point are we just like, ooh, this one tastes fun because we don't have
I don't
the
know.
word salty. And then what are you using? Like a cheese grater to like make table salt?
I don't
level
know.
salt? But like sea salt, I think we could get because we're not fishing. We're going to be terrified of what's in the ocean.
But how do we get it from the sea?
So like if we were to have literally anything that was like maybe something washed into the sea and like started to get in there and we pulled it back and then it dried, all the salt that like
dry up off of it?
Yeah, like all the water would eveporate and we'd be left with the salt and then someone would be like, ooh, that tastes something.
And I kind of like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then I think we could get there.
Okay.
You know? Or like if somebody's eating like the seaweed that's comes up onto the beach.
Yeah, that's going to be really salty.
Yes. Which in Ireland we bought this seaweed like sea salt dark chocolate. It's actually really good.
Really?
Yeah. So
it's just like, when people eat those like seaweed chips?
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't need to eat that because I already know what seaweed tastes like based on how it smells. You know?
Yes.
Like, that's just fact.
This is like, it's mostly the salt, but then there are like tiny little shreds of the seaweed in it just to give it that like
umami.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that the right word for it?
I think so.
I think so too.
Which, this has nothing to do with anything except for the fact that you said umami, is that anytime I hear that word, I think of that Sonic commercial from like 10, 15 years ago where they're talking about something that they got at Sonic and one of them says like the umami and the other one says, ooh, mommy, that's good.
I don't remember that.
And I have to say it every time someone says umami and I'm like, what is wrong with me?
I like didn't know that umami was a thing until like maybe 5 years ago. Like when I started watching cooking shows, I'm like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
What is umami?
I think that's why it sticks in my brain so much is because someone says umami and then he says, ooh, mommy, that's good. And I didn't know what umami meant. And so it was so like just seared in my brain. And now I'm like, they really should have named it literally anything else.
Yeah, literally anything else.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Anyway, so I think we could have sea salt, but then I don't know how we wouldn't have a lot of it. Because we're terrified of the ocean.
Which is really a bummer because like
I like the
salt.
Beach.
Yes, but also like salt is really good in a lot of things. Like you use it in baking to like balance out the sweetness a little bit. You use it in cooking.
In like everything.
Everything. Yeah. Everything has salt.
Everything has salt.
And pepper. But
and
like
it's just like my husband's favorite seasoning.
And it should be. Because it's like Gordon Ramsay describes it as like a magnifying glass. How it just like magnifies the flavors of other things. I'm like, that is so true.
Yeah.
True. So I don't know.
I don't know.
Which is really tough for me, especially about the salt, because I am the savory person.
Yeah.
So I like the savory snacks.
Mm-hmm.
So a fried potato, I mean, yeah, that's probably going to taste good. But you know what would make it better? Salt. Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say what's so nice about potatoes is like, anything else that we have that we dehydrate and like crush into a powder, you put on top of that and you just season it up with whatever.
That's true.
And so like we could have crazy potato chip flavors.
Do you think we're going to know how to dehydrate things? Just like leave it out in the sun?
Yeah.
What do? How do you make sure the bacteria doesn't grow on it?
You have someone just watch it.
And then if the bacteria comes along, they're like, no, get away.
Yeah, you just pick out the ones that have bacteria.
Come on now, get.
Well, it's like, have you ever seen those videos of how they make tomato paste?
No.
So like they just take a bunch of tomatoes and then they just like smush them out onto like a big table outside. And you literally just like let them dry out there. And then.
Well, yeah. And I guess it's like sun-dried tomatoes.
Yeah. But then you like just put them into a thing and like puree it from there and like churn them and stuff. But it's like, I think the dehydrating process is going to keep bacteria from growing as long as you're like continuing to dry things out and things like that. There's no way to keep like bugs out. We'd probably
don't like that.
No. But like, I mean, think about how they're always like, there's allowed to be like 8 insect legs in your chocolate.
Ugh, I wish you hadn't said that.
And I'm always like, that's unsettling. And then I just like let it leave my brain.
Like how they used to be like, the average person eats 2 spiders in their sleep every year. That's not true.
And
that's
I'm just like, I don't want to think about it. And I just like let it leave my brain forever.
Mouth breathers of the world maybe eat 2 spiders a week. I don't know.
A week?
I don't know. All I'm saying is that's not true. But what is it recently that's like, it's like there's some sort of like broccoli spiders. Have you seen those on TikTok? Don't look it up.
Oh my God.
Don't look it up. You don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
Right, okay, anyway. So getting back to snacking.
Mm-hmm.
So potato chips. Do you think we come up with potato chips?
If we can deep fry, we'll come up with potato chips.
Yeah.
We'll come up with like French fries.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure that we'll just be like, how thin is too thin and how thick is too thick?
And we'll try it out.
Yeah. I bet you we'd just like throw like a whole potato in there and just be like, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And then we'd probably. Be like, let's cut that down.
Tasty. Now, even if we couldn't figure out deep frying, because we've got some problems with deep frying, let's be real.
That's true. How many caves do you think we catch on fire that way?
Right. And also, you know, some people deep fry in butter.
That's true.
Some in oil.
Yeah.
So it depends on what fat we're working with.
Which it's not going to be butter.
No, it's not.
We just determined last episode.
Right. So
what kind of oil is vegetable? Like what kind of vegetables?
I don't know. I was
of?
Just wondering that myself.
You think it's soy? I feel like it would be soy.
Like, yeah, probably.
I feel like it would have to be. I can't think of anything else it would be.
Because peanut oil is its own thing.
Yes. And then olive oil.
Yeah. But it's really, olive oil has way too high of a smoke point to fry anything.
That's for like pan frying.
Yeah.
Or like searing, but not really like.
Yeah, searing for sure. But like even like a shallow pan fry, no, you want vegetable oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. But even, you know, regardless of all of that, if we can't figure out butter and we're not, whatever fat we're working with, doesn't matter. Because I think that we could bake them and have no problem.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't be as good.
No, well, and with like chips, it's like, I don't know how crunchy they can get.
When you bake them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, there are those like baked chips.
Like baked Lays.
Yes, but those are done in the way of like, you take your potatoes and you like make like a potato pulp.
Oh.
That's how like Pringles are made too.
It's funny that I didn't want to know that. I mean, I guess it makes sense though, because the shape of those chips is so uniform.
Yes.
And not like if you just get a regular bag of Lays, and this is what bothers me about Lays. It's just like you can have approximately 18 crisps for this much. And I'm like, but you can't, because every chip is broken up and it's all different.
Because you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the 18 largest chips I can find.
And then I'm going to go, that
like,
was 180
that's a
calories.
whole serving.
Yeah.
And then by the end, I'm like, well, I have 6
definitely not 3 servings.
broken chips left.
Right.
Oops.
Yeah, it pisses me off about Lays.
I know. But I love like original Lays when like the
I know you do.
triple like foldy ones. They're just like, it's been like folded over and over and over again. Oh, so good. It makes me think of my aunt.
You know what I like? A kettle cooked chip.
I also like a kettle cooked chip.
That's a chip I can get behind.
But I will always choose jalapeno.
Oh yeah, I love the jalapeno ones.
Those are the best ones.
Remember when I discovered the pickle?
Yes, the hot pickle ones.
Miss Vicky, what you doing, girl? Because that shit is so good. Oh, I hope I could figure that out in an awful world.
I'm just saying that I had an idea for a potato chip flavor earlier this year. I submitted it to Lay's for their contest.
And it was something really weird. Tell me again.
Sloppy Joes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. No, that's not weird.
No, it was because one of my aunts, when I was little, we would always have Sloppy Joes, but we would just like dip the Sloppy Joe with regular Lay's potato chips.
I dig that.
And I love that. And so I'm like,
I haven't had Sloppy Joes in so long.
Chip. I love
Sloppy Joes for dinner. Anyway.
I think you do.
Anyway, that's a whole, we'll get to that.
Right.
Okay. Now, what do you think about pretzels?
I would love to say yes. However, so Ty just made pretzel bites the other day, and they were fantastic. They were made out of sourdough, which is something I think we could come up with.
Okay.
Which we'll talk more about in the baking episode. So I don't want to get too deep in that.
Yeah, because that is true that it doesn't require any dairy.
Right.
So, okay.
So,
put a pin in that.
The thing, though, how you get that like dark brown outer shell.
Isn't it dipping it in salt water?
No.
Oh,
it's
boiling it?
It's boiling it in water and baking soda.
Oh, and baking soda. Okay.
And I don't know what baking soda is.
I don't either. You know what? I was thinking about this a couple episodes ago when we were talking about diet culture. I don't know what vinegar is. I don't know how we get vinegar. I don't know how it's made.
I've never once thought about it.
Yeah, I literally did not think about it until I researched for that episode. And then I was like, what the fuck is vinegar?
Did you look it up?
Nope.
Cool. I was like, tell me, what is vinegar?
I feel like I should look it up though now and tell you, because it's going to haunt me.
Well, and there's so many types of vinegar, but I just kind of like go through the world and I'm like, yeah, that's vinegar. But like,
how do we make it though?
Yeah, but like, what is it?
Okay.
Is it just naturally occurring?
This makes sense. Maybe, sort of. It is a sour liquid, this we know.
Yeah.
That is made by the fermentation of any of numerous diluted alcoholic liquids into a liquid containing acetic acid. So it may be produced from a variety of materials, apples or grapes, malted barley or oats, and industrial alcohol. These women were drinking pints of that.
No wonder they were killing themselves.
Day. So it's the fermentation that makes it smell funky.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Would we have vinegar then?
No.
I don't think so either.
No.
Which is sad because I love a dill pickle.
For a second, I was like, no, it's not. Like, the world's better without vinegar. And then I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Remember the time when we thought I might possibly be allergic to cucumbers?
And I was like,
no big loss.
And then I was like, my first question is, what about pickles?
And then I was like, oh my God.
Because I hate cucumbers. I think it's a trash vegetable on its own.
Scathing review of cucumbers. You heard it here first, folks.
I think they're disgusting, and I don't even like cucumber melon scented things.
Big Cucumber's gonna sue us.
That's right. But I love a dill pickle.
I do too.
Love it.
Pickles are one of my favorite things. I love to be that person at like a restaurant with other people. Like, can I have your pickle?
Yes. Or like, can I have extra pickles?
Yeah.
It's like a Ty, if he gets a what's that sandwich? Indiana's known for them. Pork tenderloin.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, I only want pickles on it, but like extra pickles. And he's like, and when I say extra pickles, I mean like a handful of pickles.
Extra pickles.
Like half a jar of pickles on that sandwich.
Because you know who's been doing us a disservice? Chick-fil-A. Those are two of the wimpiest, floppiest pickles. And there's only two of them.
Yeah. You know who like really does you right with pickles?
McDonald's? No.
They might. I don't really know. But Shake Shack.
Oh, do they have the dill ones that they like cut long ways? No. Okay.
That's Steak and Shake.
Oh, yeah, that is Steak and Shake.
They also do you right that way.
That
But
covers the
Shake
whole
Shack,
sandwich, and I appreciate that.
Yes. But Shake Shack has like, they seem more homemade. They're like thicker and they're bigger.
Yeah.
But they put like 3. So it also covers the like full burger. And I'm like, you
Way
do
to go,
right.
Shake Shack.
Thank you.
Go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So with pretzels, I'm not sure about that because I think we're missing 2 key components. Baking soda, which we have no idea what that is.
Yeah, no.
And salt. Because first of all, don't ever offend me by asking me if I'm ordering a soft pretzel at a game or a show or anything and you say salt or no salt. That's offensive to me.
Yeah, who's fucking saying that?
Of course I want the salt. And if it has too much salt on it, I'll just brush a little bit of it off.
Yes,
it's not a big
fine.
deal. Nobody wants an unsalted pretzel. And if you do,
trash.
You're weird.
Yeah,
sorry.
and wrong.
Yeah, sorry.
My big thing though, I don't like mustard, which a lot of people put with a pretzel.
I love it.
And I get that. But I am a nacho cheese girl all the way.
I like both.
And we've just decided no cheese. So do I even want that pretzel if I can't have cheese on it?
That's a good point.
I'm going to be like,
that's a good
fine,
point.
but like
it's
missing something.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I agree. Okay. So I'm not as confident on pretzels.
So I'm not as but I'm not like as worried if we don't have cheese. I'm not going to be like, wow, these are amazing.
I know. But if we don't have cheese, we're not going to have like Doritos because those are based on cheese.
That's true. We could have tortilla chips.
Yeah, but not.
And we could have flavors.
Yeah. Cool Ranch? You think we come up with Cool Ranch? Probably not you, but
probably not me. But yeah, you probably could because it's the seasonings that go into ranch.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do like a Cool Ranch Dorito, but I want like 3.
Well,
that's like it.
That's not.
And I don't like the smell of them.
The worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now here's something that I have heard from people who are like vegan.
It's a new way to say vegan. Have you tried vegan?
I was going to say vegan and vegetarian. And then I was like, it's not vegetarian because they can eat cheese.
They had to stop calling it vegan because it sounded too close to other words.
So, my bad. Anyway, I've heard from people.
I make flubs like that all the time and you don't give me any shit. You make one flub and I'm like, oh boy.
You're like, I'm not letting it go.
Anyway, vegan.
Vegan. I have heard from people who are vegan that something called nutritional yeast has like a cheesy flavor.
Yes.
Now, I don't know what nutritional yeast is.
I don't know how they make it, but the idea is to have a non-dairy product that has protein in it because guess what? Your body needs it.
Yeah.
Like,
don't put your hand up at me.
It's not you. It's just me with the world where I'm just like, if you want to be vegetarian, I certainly understand that. Mm-hmm. Just in this world. We're just talking about this world. You want to be vegetarian, I understand that. I don't understand being vegan personally. Mm-hmm. I know they're like animal byproducts, blah, 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 the animals, the greenhouse gases. Blah, 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 blah. It's just, I want it. I'm sorry. And it's just like, your body needs it. That's why we have it. Like, that's why we have these things here.
But there's also things like legumes, nuts and beans and stuff that's full of protein.
But none of those taste like cheese.
Yeah, but our world's not going to have cheese anyway.
I know, but I was talking about this world. I just don't get it. Veganism wouldn't even be a thing in an awful world because A, that's too advanced.
Yeah.
And B, it's too hipster.
But it would also just kind of like be the world minus maybe honey.
I know. So, nobody would be vegan because everybody would be vegan.
That's right.
You feel me?
We wouldn't need a word for it.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
you'd be like, you're just a person.
Yeah. But let's talk about honey then.
Okay.
Do you think we would have honey?
My initial reaction is no. And the reason I say no is because bees really scare people.
That's true. They do.
It's the sound, I think. It's the stinging. But
and how sometimes they just like will not let you go.
Right. I know. And I just think in my adulthood, I've just learned to like not be super scared of them.
Yeah.
Like, like I used to be like the like
flailing.
Yeah. And now I'm just like, go away. Like, It's fine. Like if I overreact, like then it's more likely you're going to sting me.
Yes.
So like, let's just not.
Yes.
So I'm trying to think of a situation in which I'd feel comfortable enough going into a bee's environment, taking their honey and then being on my merry way.
Here's my only thing as to how we could perhaps get honey.
Mm-hmm.
Do they ever just like abandon their hive?
Probably.
I would assume we would come across an abandoned hive.
Yeah.
And
be
are like, oh
what's
my
this?
God, what is this?
But then are you going to taste that? Answer me that.
Here's the thing. Here's how I think it would accidentally happen. It is really sticky. Even if we were to like go to the river and like wash our hands or whatever, and then your hands are still probably going to be a little sticky. And then when you go to do something else, somehow it's going to like get in your mouth a little. And then you're just going to be like, oh, that's kind of lovely.
Here's the thing for me. I don't really care for the taste of just like honey.
Oh.
Like I know as a kid, people would get like honey sticks and they'd love that. I am not a huge fan of just straight honey. I like honey and tea and I like honey like drizzled over something, but not just like straight up by itself.
Well, yeah, no.
But like kids, like that's a thing that kids have. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like they look like pixie sticks, but they're full of honey.
Yeah, I never wanted that either.
Yeah.
I was like actually not a honey fan as a child. And now I am more of a honey fan as an adult.
Yeah.
But even then, I want like honeycomb like on a biscuit, or I want a honey flavored, like honey coated cereal.
Right.
Or something like that.
But not just like straight honey.
No. But I think it would be something that we could use as a sweetener. But it seems like something that would be like a delicacy.
Yeah. We wouldn't have a lot of it because we wouldn't be like apiarist.
Right. But what's nice is honey never expires.
Really? But it does like crystallize sometimes.
Yes.
You know?
But then you just heat it up.
And it's fine.
Yep.
Interesting. I'll keep that in mind. So I don't have to keep buying so much honey. Honey's so good for you, especially local honey.
Local honey is supposed to help with allergies.
Yeah, because you're just like exposing yourself to a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Do you know how we discovered honey?
No.
So there was this bear in this red shirt.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. I have no idea how honey was discovered.
Remember that time that I was like, it's so wild that Paddington Bear isn't popular here, but Winnie the Pooh is. And you were like, yeah, but Paddington is British. And I was like, yeah, so is Winnie the Pooh.
I was like, damn.
And you did not believe me.
Now, can I ask you, is Christopher Robin British, though?
This is what you asked me the last time. Yes.
Clearly, I've erased this from my memory.
Yes. And I was like, he has a British accent. He's like,
I don't remember.
Silly old bear.
Oh, yeah, he does. Oops, that's my bad.
And then you Googled it right in front of me and you were like, not that I don't believe you.
No, when you said, it's okay. I do that to Brian, too. It's just true friendship.
Why would the bear be British?
I don't know. Is anybody else British? Is Tigger British? Is Eeyore British? I think that's what's really... And I don't mean to be so ethnocentric. I'm so sorry.
It's just so funny.
I didn't.
Oh my goodness.
When you said silly old bear like that, I was like, yep, shit.
Yeah.
Christopher Robin is British. All right.
You know, Tigger has an accent all of his own.
Yeah, he
Who
does.
knows where he came from.
And like, what about like Roo and...
Yeah, I don't know.
And like Eeyore doesn't have an accent.
Well, it would be an American accent. It's still an accent.
Well, yes.
I think because it was purchased by Disney that a lot of them have American accents. And that's why it's so popular here in America.
How did this English bear get here into the 100-acre woods?
Well, I think the 100-acre woods are in England.
Fuck. Well, then how did this American whatever Eeyore is get to England?
Yeah, I don't know.
What is Eeyore?
He's a donkey.
Yeah. I really had to think about that. And I was like, there's a tail. He's a donkey.
Yeah, he's a donkey.
You know, the better American donkey is Donkey from Shrek.
That's true. He's not better.
I'm making waffles. He's not better?
He's not better.
Hot take.
Okay,
sure. Defend the American character.
I resonate so hard with Eeyore.
Sure, lots of us do.
And I always have. When I went to Disney as a child, I had Eeyore ears, not Mickey ears.
That checks out. Yeah, that really checks out.
I am a sad girl.
What about Piglet?
Who likes a sad donkey.
Does Piglet have an accent?
Yes.
Fuck. All right.
Yeah.
And
so does Owl.
You know, why stop there? You know?
I know. I don't know.
Like at first you started out Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh resembles no bear name, like bear, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got Piglet, who's a pig, Tigger, who's a tiger. And then you know what? Fuck it. Owl. Why? Why?
I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know. Anyway, back to snacks.
I'm glad that I completely forgot that conversation that we had about Winnie the Pooh. I'll remember it now. Probably not.
Probably not.
I have podcast amnesia.
Yeah.
It's fine. Anyway, snacks. Honey, maybe.
Yeah,
in
maybe.
small quantities,
Yes.
I agree. We're not going to go in there and like harvest it up.
No, we're not just going to be like sticking our hands.
No, when you watch them like pull the thing out and they're so chill about it, that's not me.
Yeah, no.
That's just not that's just not for me. Bugs scare me.
Yeah.
A lot of bugs scare me.
Yes.
And I shouldn't be scared, but they're just so unnatural looking, which is crazy because they're nature. But I'm just
true.
like, it's not natural to have 8 legs, spider.
They don't really bother me if we're outside.
Yeah, if you're in their home, you cross the threshold though, you've taken your life in your own hands.
Right. I'm just like, if I'm in your home, then like I won't bother you, you don't bother me. But when you come into my home,
nothing I can do.
Yeah.
Nothing
I'm
I
sorry,
can do at that
you
point.
have broken and entered into my home and you will be treated as such.
As such. Yeah.
So, which normally means I'm going to trap you under a
Pull out
cup.
the shotgun.
I normally just trap it under a cup and wait for Ty to get home.
And then what does Ty do? Does he kill it or does he take it outside?
He either takes it back outside or he crushes it with a paper towel and throws it away, not flushing it, because one of my biggest fears is it crawling back up and biting me in the butt when I pee.
Oh my God. That's all right.
I'm terrified.
That's like akin to like a shark's going to swim up and get you in the bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I don't want to think about that either.
That's really something.
Mm-hmm. Some fears don't have to make sense.
Quite a few tangents.
That's right.
Do you have any other snacks that you want to talk about?
Yes.
All right.
I want to talk about chocolate and sugar in general.
All right. So chocolate
is a
tough.
plant.
It is. But the most popular form of chocolate is milk chocolate.
But you know what's better than milk chocolate?
Dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
Yeah, but like what is dark chocolate? Like
I eat.
what makes it just has a higher percentage of like cacao?
Yeah.
Is how you say it?
So part of it is cacao, but then part of it is cocoa.
Okay, but I do think it's the higher percentage of cacao that
Probably. But I think there is still milk in it. So I wonder if we could use a nut milk
maybe
as a substitute.
Maybe. I don't understand how chocolate gets from being plant, cacao, cocoa, whatever.
So I've seen
into
the
chocolate.
videos of people doing it.
Okay.
And it's like a huge big bean pod situation. And then I think you have to put it in the oven and like roast it for a long time, kind of like you do with coffee.
Okay.
But then you like rip it open and there's these weird like gooey pod looking things in there. And then I think you have to bake those as well or something. And then it has to be like pureed and like smashed. And like then you have to add your sugar into it.
Oh boy.
And I think you have to add your dairy into it and then get it to the point where then it becomes like ooey gooey.
This is quite a process.
Which, yes. But I think that I would sniff it out.
You do?
Yes.
I'm not confident that I would. So I'll lean into you for that because that's a lot of steps.
I just think that like I would be like, what's
what
in this
happens
pod?
if we roast this?
And I'm thinking we're just throwing everything into a fire that's a plant of some sort and just seeing what we can cook and what we can't. And then I think if I was like, this is kind of good, what if we added something sweet to it?
Yeah. And that'd probably be well, maybe
I
we'd
mean,
have sugar.
I think
because
we would,
of sugar canes.
Yeah, sugar cane.
But
I don't really know how you get sugar from the cane.
now I don't either. But in Hawaii, there are a lot of sugarcane fields. And inside sugarcane fields are sugarcane spiders, and they're quite large. I don't like that either. So I'm a little bit scared of that.
Maybe we could use maple syrup.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if we're just like when we're going to be shoving a spigot into a tree. But
That's true. But also sometimes it just like seeps out and then you're like, that's sweet.
You are putting so much stuff in your mouth. You're like, well, it's on my hands and it's sticky now. So I guess that's so many Haylies are dropping dead in the streets because they're like, what's this? And it turned out it was cyanide. Like,
apparently, I'm only putting things in my mouth if they're sticky, though. Like,
That should
I wish
concern
I
you.
shouldn't have said.
that should concern you.
I wish I wouldn't have said that on the internet,
Paste eater.
Because, the whole last episode, I was like, I'm so concerned about what everyone is just putting in their mouth. And
I
then
know.
this episode, I'm like, it's sticky. I'll just like taste that. It's something
she
sweet.
plays both sides. I don't understand. And just like, how investigative are these Hayley's going to be that they're just like, oh no, it's on. Well, no, actually,
I'm into it.
Well, and then immediately
I just
drops
dropped dead.
Yeah. Just like, well, we'll know not to do that again. We just leave you lay where you were as a warning to the next people.
I'm just saying the bears all seem to be able to find the sweet, sticky substances and they're doing great. So why can't I?
Do bears actually eat honey?
Syrup? I have no idea. My guess would be no.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So,
But like,
take back everything you just said.
society tells me that they do.
One man told you that a British bear eats honey.
Well, another
Ty
man
says
told me
yes.
a British bear that it does eat honey.
That bears do eat honey.
Oh, okay. Well, see, there you go.
You said that it does eat honey, and I wanted to say, what it do, nephew?
But, another British bear told me that he likes to eat marmalade.
Now that can't be.
That's Paddington.
I know. But that can't be. Marmalade is a preserve situation.
He got it from his aunt and uncle who got it from the explorer.
Okay.
M. Clyde.
All right.
So they were taught how to make marmalade.
Sure. And Stuart Little was really a part of that family.
He was adopted. Libby. My God.
Ugh. Okay. So sugar, probably.
Well,
I mean, we'd have to look
we
into
have
it.
a sweetener, but
but it may just be honey or, like you said, syrup.
I wonder
Something that's easier that you just get in its form. You know what I mean?
You know how, like, in cartoons, I'm taking a lot of my
You're drawing a
inspiration
lot from cartoons. I mentioned one thing about Winnie the Pooh.
And it has just opened so many doors.
And why Winnie the Pooh? Anyway.
I know. Anyway, you know how in cartoons there's always somebody who's like a snake charmer
Yeah.
and they like have a little recorder?
Yeah.
You think you could do that with spiders?
No.
You think there's some sort of melodic tune that could run out the spiders?
Do spiders have ears? Do snakes even have ears? Can spiders hear? I don't know.
I think so.
You think so?
I think so.
Or are they just feeling vibration and that's when they know to run? Think
That
about
works.
it.
I mean, it works too, though, because sound is also vibration. So,
I mean, yes, but I'm saying, do they actually hear or are they just feeling it?
I don't know because I am not a spider scientist and I don't want to be.
I'll just say that I am not confident that I could spider charm. Spiders do not have ears.
But I think they could feel the vibrations.
It's almost like I already said that.
Vibrations.
Beach Boys.
That's right.
And if you don't know that song, no, I'm kidding. I critique people on their song knowledge all the time on here. I don't think that there's any way that we can. I mean, then it's like, are we going to come up with pesticides? What are nature's pesticides? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to have to be us just like stomping around a lot.
Oh, I hate that.
I know.
Okay, here's what we'll do.
Okay.
We'll wear really, really long pants. But
what if they get in the pants?
No.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
We're going to tape them at the bottom.
Okay.
So that it's foolproof. You can't
what
get
if
through.
It's really long pants, but then we have really long boots, so it goes the other way.
Yes.
And then we tape it.
Yes. So it's fashion, but it's also safe.
Yeah.
For the sugarcane spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm still unsettled, but
I mean, I am too. I'm not sure that I'm the one that's like, yeah, I'll go right out there in the field and take care of it.
The sugar people, they may just have to make the most glitter money.
It's like when you're a kid, and like you turn off the hall light and then you run to your room as fast as you can.
Yes.
I feel like I would just be like, run, grab 2 things of sugar cane, run.
Yes.
Like it wouldn't be very productive.
We would just be like taking the ones from the edge and like not.
The really small packs of Domino sugar, like that's all we're getting in a year. That's all we're going to yield.
Yes.
Because we're too scared to go into our like super lush sugar fields.
Yeah, we'll just be terrified.
Any other snacks that you can think of that you're like, huh?
I also thought about gummies because you like a fruit gummy
I do.
kind of snack.
I do. And we kind of talked about this. We touched on it a little bit in the drugs episode.
Yeah.
Again, not confident.
I don't think so.
We know loosely what gummies are made of.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things where I would just like to disassociate.
Yeah.
Completely. I just want to enjoy my gummy butterflies from Buc-ee's. And I don't want to have to think about the fact that it's literally horse hooves.
Yeah.
And something else.
Yeah. So
Like,
there'd be no
I'm just
Jell-O.
not, there's no gelatin.
No, because it's unsettling.
Yeah. There's no pudding either because we don't have milk, which is really a
That's
shame.
true. That's okay. I'm not really a pudding fan.
I like a pudding. I like a pudding cup.
Not me.
Mm.
It's a weird texture.
You are a texture person like that. Yeah.
But we could probably have like a fruit leather.
Really sell it to me.
I know.
Do you remember?
That's it. Yes.
There was a time Haylie and I were at work and we had to sit in on this conference. And it was like early in the morning and it was about a topic that I do not understand. It was, anyway.
It's like a pure math situation. And as you know, we're not STEM girlies.
I don't even want to talk about how irritated I was. But anyway, there's so much behind that.
It's neither here nor there.
It really isn't. Ask me about it in person. So in order to like cheer people up in the morning, they were like passing out like little snackies.
Yeah.
And one of them was this like dried fruit bar situation.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, sure, I'll try it. Like,
and the brand, I'm pretty sure, was called That's It.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Because then you kept saying, that's it.
That seems like something I would say. Because in my head, I'm thinking like fruit roll up.
Yeah.
That's like the texture and like it'll be sweet, but not super sweet. I like artificial sweet, just like, regular fruit sweet.
Yeah. You're like, it's a natural fruit roll up.
Exactly. Oh, how wrong I was.
Yeah.
I took one bite of that thing and immediately was like, oh my God, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
It was gross.
Yeah.
It was gross. And I love fruit. I love all kinds of like, it's not like I'm like anti, delicious, healthy snacks. That is not delicious. That is a crime against humanity. And it should not be given out. The farthest I'll go is like dried mangoes. Or something. You know how they have those sometimes? Those are pretty good.
I like the dried pineapples.
Oh, I've never tried that.
They're
I'll have to
really
try it sometime.
Good. They're like to the point where I kept being like, there's something in this that's not pineapple. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then it's just like,
nope.
Pineapple.
Pineapple
dried.
is really sweet. So that makes sense.
They're so good though. But like they get like gummy when they're dehydrated.
Yeah.
So they taste like a gummy on the end. I was like, this is like fake fruit. And it's not. It's very good.
This thing was like a literal piece of leather.
Yeah.
Where it was like really chewy and it was not good. So don't try those.
No.
And we would not have those in an awful world.
No.
It would be much different, I think. If we were going to do like dried fruit.
We would just be like, we'll either make trail mix and everyone will just pick out the chocolate.
Or I like the nuts.
Yeah, the nuts too. It's like you eat the chocolate.
It's the raisins that don't get any attention.
Like, oh, yay, raisins.
Nature's candy.
I snuck in some candy. These are raisins.
Nature's candy.
But I see we could go that way. Otherwise, we would just be like, can I just eat the fruit?
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I don't want you to dry it out. I just want to eat it.
Yeah.
Like a normal person.
Mm-hmm. People are like, apple chips. And I'm like, dry but spongy.
Like, why don't I just bring an apple in?
Yeah.
Why?
And then I can dip it in peanut butter or caramel.
Yeah. Or whatever you so desire.
That's right. Normally peanut butter, though.
Fair.
I like that. It's the honey roasted peanut butter.
Honey. There you go again.
I know. It's good.
You go again.
Well, anything else on snacks?
I don't think so. I think we've said a lot
about
have. Snacks and a lot not about snacks.
It's true.
I think that we're confident that we could come up with quite a few snacks.
Yeah.
Not so confident about others. And some of them we don't even want.
Yeah.
So that makes that easy.
Even miss.
Yeah. So BFD.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us today. This was part 2 of our March Munchies series.
Yes.
So we
come
have
back next week.
2 more weeks to talk about different munchies. So also just wanted to remind you that we are on Patreon. Check us out there, patreon.com/anawfulworldpodcast. Couple different tiers, fun things you get. You're tired of listening to me ramble about this, but please check it out. We would love to have your support. Also, we are on Facebook and Instagram. You can check us out there, interact with us. Let us know about things you'd want to hear or thoughts that you had while listening to the podcast. And then, as always, listen to us every Friday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. And give us a like and subscribe to us so that you do get a notification every Friday that a new episode is out. But in the meantime, we hope that your day is simply awful.
Wow.